15 boring money rules that will make you rich. Have you ever wondered why some people get rich doing nothing exciting while others stay broke chasing every shiny opportunity? I went from completely broke to financially free in 7 years. Not through crypto wins, not through lucky investments, not through some secret strategy nobody knows about. Through 17 boring habits most people can't stand doing for more than a few months. Here's what's crazy. These habits are so simple they sound stupid. So boring that most people dismiss them immediately. But they're responsible for more wealth than any exciting strategy you've ever heard about. If you stay until the end, you'll know all 17 boring rules that built my freedom. Even picking just 3 of these could change your financial life completely. Hit subscribe if you're ready to be boring and get rich. Type boring below if you're tired of exciting advice that never works. Because rule number 1 requires consistency. Most people simply cannot maintain. Rule 1. Be boring. Consistency beats everything. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Being consistent with boring strategies is what gets people to financial freedom. Not exciting moves, not trying to time the market, just boring consistency. I've talked to dozens of people who reach financial freedom in their 20s and 30s. Every single one said the same thing. I did this boring thing for 4 to 7 years straight, then I was free. Not complicated, not exciting, just consistent. Most people who stay broke either play it too safe for too long, or they keep jumping between strategies trying to get rich quickly. They never stick with anything long enough for it to work. I stayed at a 50% savings rate for 7 straight years. Invested in the same boring index funds for 7 years. Nothing crazy, just consistent. And this applies to everything. Getting in shape, building a business, maintaining relationships. Everything worthwhile is boring and consistent. Here's what to do. Pick one financial habit today. Maybe it's automatic savings. Maybe it's index fund investing. Maybe it's paying off debt. Commit to doing it unchanged for 12 months minimum. Don't optimize it. Don't change strategies. Don't get clever. Just be boringly consistent. Track it monthly to see progress, but don't touch the strategy itself. I know 2 people who started investing at 25. First person tried day trading, then real estate flipping, then crypto, then 3 different businesses. By 30, he was $15,000 in debt with nothing to show for it. The second person picked boring index fund contributions, never changed anything, just let it run. By 30, she had $85,000 invested and was on track for early retirement. Same starting point. He had more interesting stories. She had way more money. Boring wins, exciting losses. Every single time. Rule 2. Be selfish. Pay yourself first. Most people do this completely backwards. They pay rent, bills, subscriptions, buy random stuff, then try to save whatever's left at the end of the month. Usually, nothing's left. 74% of Americans save 10% or less because of this broken system. You need to flip it completely. The moment money hits your account, steal from yourself first. Pay yourself before anyone else gets a penny. Sounds harsh, but it's the only way that actually works. I'm naturally an addictive personality. Used to blow money on video games, eating out, clothes, everything. Realized I was stealing from my own future, and I hate not having money. So instead of saving whatever was left over, I started paying myself first. Started at 10%, kept increasing it, eventually hit a 50 to 75% savings rate and stayed there for 7 years. The trick? Make it automatic and hide it from yourself before you ever see it. Here's the suspicious truth. Most Americans live paycheck to paycheck, but the chances you need exactly the amount you're making? Incredibly unlikely. If you just had less money available, you'd figure it out. You'd earn more or spend less. You'd be forced to be creative. This week, set up an automatic transfer on payday. Start with 15% of your paycheck. Have it auto-transfer to a separate savings account the day your paycheck hits, before you see it. Increase by 5% every 3 months until you hit your limit. Live on what remains. You'll be shocked at how fast you adapt. I know someone who tried saving whatever was left, each month. After 3 years, I saved $4,500 total. Felt like a complete failure. A friend earning an identical salary receives a 25% transfer from day one. The first month felt tight. By month 3, spending adjusted automatically. After 3 years, I saved $27,000, same income. One tried using willpower every month and failed. Other automated it once and forgot about it. You can't save what you've already spent. Pay yourself first, automatically, or you'll pay yourself never. Rule 3. Never finance depreciating assets. While my friends were getting $500 to $700 monthly car payments, I drove a $5,000 Honda Civic I paid cash for. Took all that money they spent on cars and threw it straight to my Freedom Fund instead. Here's the brutal math. Cars lose 60% of their value in the first 5 years. It's literally one of the worst ways imaginable to burn your money just to have a fancier thing that gets you from here to here. If you need to get scared straight about this, calculate how many days per month you work just to pay for your car payment and insurance. I literally know people who work 1 full week every month just to pay for the car that gets them to work. Incredibly stupid. Drive an older, cheaper car that's reliable. That's the only requirement. It works and it's reliable. Nothing else matters. Take the boring route. Get an older car that doesn't drain your wealth. Here's what to do. If you currently have a car payment, calculate the total you'll pay over the loan's life, including interest. Then calculate what investing that monthly payment would become in 10 years at a 7% return. Let that number shock you into action. Your $650 monthly payment over 6 years equals $46,800 paid. The car's worth $18,000 when paid off. You lost $28,800 to depreciation alone. Meanwhile, investing that $650 monthly for 6 years at 7% becomes $60,500. That's a $100,000 swing from one decision. I know someone with a luxury car payment for 6 years. Total cost with interest, $55,000. The car was worth $20,000 at the end. A friend bought an $8,000 reliable used car for cash, invested $650 monthly instead. After 6 years had invested $60,000, plus I still had a working car. He looked successful, driving a BMW. She looked broke, driving an old Honda. He was broke with a fancy car. She was building wealth with a boring car. Different priorities. His car got him to work. Her car got her to freedom. Rule 4, the 1-month rule, 30-day rule. This boring change saved me thousands and really helped get my savings rate up. Every time I want to buy something over $100, I either make myself wait 30 days or send a picture to my wife asking if I can get it. She's too supportive though. I actually asked if I could get a Cybertruck, and she said it was fine. I was looking for her to say no to that. Back to the point. If I want something over $100, I leave it in whatever cart. I click through to check out, then I don't buy it. Turns out I totally forgot about it 30 days later. That means my life hasn't changed at all without it. This is how I get the thrill of almost getting it without actually spending the money. Small tip, but it really works. Here's the reality. 62% of supermarket sales come from impulse purchases. People are just grabbing stuff they didn't plan to buy. That's a cool shirt. The 8th pair of shorts you don't need, your 20th pair of shoes. These add up to massive, unnecessary spending that drains your wealth-building potential. Starting today, any purchase over $100 goes into a 30-day waiting list in your phone. Write down what it is, why you want it, and how much it costs. Set a reminder for 30 days later. When the reminder hits, ask yourself, do I still want this? Do I even remember wanting this? Would I rather have this item or invest this amount? Most times the answer is no. For items you still desperately want after 30 days, buy guilt-free, knowing it passed the test. This rule alone saves $2,000 to $5,000 yearly on impulse purchases you would have completely forgotten about. I bought a 180 kitchen gadget the moment I saw it. Used it twice. It has been sitting in my cabinet for 3 years now. Total value, 60 cents per use. A friend wanted the same gadget, added it to her 30-day list. Forgot about it after 10 days. Never thought about it again. Saved $180 on something that would have brought zero value. Desire fades fast. Discipline lasts. Wait 30 days and watch most desires disappear while your wealth stays protected. Rule 5. Don't impulse buy. 62% of supermarket sales come from impulse purchases. People are grabbing things they didn't plan to buy. Oh, that's a cool shirt. Maybe I'll get it. Oh, I totally forgot I need an 8th pair of shorts. Oh, my 20th pair of shoes, I need that. This happens to me at the grocery store, so I started making lists so I can't do it anymore. Not impulse shopping is incredibly boring because you're not randomly getting stuff all the time and having fun doing that, but it saves you massive amounts of money. Stores are literally designed to trigger impulse purchases. That's why milk is in the back, checkout has candy and magazines, everything's strategically placed to make you buy things you didn't plan to buy. Make lists before shopping. Stick to the list religiously. If it's not on the list, you don't need it today. Next 30 days, run this experiment. Week 1 and 2, shop normally and track every impulse purchase, anything not on your original list. Week 3 and 4, make a strict list and only buy what's on that list. No exceptions whatsoever. Compare spending between the two periods. Most people find they spend 20 to 40% less just by eliminating impulse purchases. That's $200 to $400 monthly saved on average. That's $2,400 to $4,800 yearly, which, invested, becomes $35,000 to $70,000 over 10 years. All from just following a shopping list. A person who shops without a list spends $800 monthly on groceries for a family of 3. Sees things, buys them randomly. A friend with an identical family makes a detailed list and only buys what's on the list. Spends $480 monthly. $320 monthly difference from the same lifestyle, same food quality, just eliminating impulse purchases. Over 5 years, impulse purchases cost $19,200. Lists saved $19,200 that went to investments instead. That invested money came $28,000. One had a cabinet full of stuff she forgot she bought. Others had invested $28,000. Lists aren't restrictive. They're protective of your wealth-building future. Rule 6. Live in half the house you can afford. Just because you're approved for a $300,000 or $500,000 house doesn't mean you should buy it. Banks approve you for the maximum you can possibly pay, not what's smart for building wealth. From age 22 to 27, I lived for free and actually got paid to live where I did through house hacking. Housing is generally your biggest expense. If you can just live in a cheaper place for a few more years, it can drastically change your entire financial future. Boring and unsexy, but living below your means is one of the biggest things you can do. If you're approved for a $400,000 house, buy a $200,000 house instead. Or rent a cheap apartment for a few more years instead of buying. The difference in monthly payment could be $1,000 to $1,500. That invested for 10 years becomes $175,000 to $260,000. That's life-changing money from one housing choice alone. If currently renting, stay 1 more year in your current place instead of upgrading. Invest the difference between the current rent and the upgrade you wanted. If planning to buy, get approved to see your maximum. Then look at houses that cost 50 to 60% of that maximum. You'll be shocked at how comfortable you can be spending half what you're approved for. The couple approved for $450,000, bought $420 because we're approved for it, why not? Monthly payment with insurance and taxes, $3,200. Felt house poor immediately. Struggled to save anything. 10 years later, the house is worth $480, owes $340, has $140 equity, but $0 in other investments. Friends approved for the same amount, bought a $220 house instead. The monthly payment is $1,700. Invested $1,500 monthly difference. 10 years later, the house is worth $260, owes $140, has $120 equity, plus $260,000 in investments. Total net worth, $120 versus $380 from the housing decision alone. A bigger house meant house rich, cash poor. A smaller house meant freedom and wealth. One house owned them. The other house was just a shelter while they built actual wealth. Rule 7. Figure out where your money goes. When I first started a business, I thought I was on top of everything until tax season came around and I got hit with a giant, unexpected bill. Had one account where all my income, payroll, expenses, and taxes were all just jumbled together. After the first year, I realized it was complete chaos. Half the time I was just guessing what my income was, what my expenses were. Really getting out of hand. That's when I realized I didn't need to just try harder. I needed a system, separate accounts for everything. One for income, one for expenses, one for taxes, one for payroll, one for savings. Everything is separated, so you know exactly where everything is going. No more guessing. For business owners, you can loop in your bookkeeper or accountant with their own login and permissions. They handle day-to-day while you maintain visibility. Peace of mind. Don't spend hours digging through spreadsheets, wondering if you have enough set aside for taxes somewhere. Know exactly where your money is. Focus on growing instead of tracking and putting out fires. Whether business owner or employee, separate your money into clear categories and accounts. This week, open separate accounts even within the same bank. Bills and essentials, savings and investments, fund money and discretionary, taxes and obligations if self-employed. On payday, immediately divide money into these accounts based on percentages. 50 to 60% essentials, 20 to 30% savings, 10 to 20% fun. Only spend from the designated account for each category. When the fun money account is empty, no more fun spending for that month. Makes budgeting automatic and visual. A person with one account, everything mixed. Constantly overdrawing because I couldn't track spending across categories. Felt stressed always. Saved nothing. A friend with separate accounts knew exactly what was available in each category. Never overdrew. Felt completely in control. Saved 30% consistently. One account felt simple but created chaos. Multiple accounts felt complicated but created clarity. One had to remember and calculate everything mentally. Others just looked at account balances. Simplicity made one person broke. Structure made the other wealthy. Rule 8. Create over consume. The average person watches about 6 hours of content per day, broken into little pieces, sometimes hours at a time. That's 6 hours daily of pure consumption, creating zero value or income in your life. I had a wake-up call years ago. Realized if I wanted to stop being broke, stop hating what I was doing every day, cleaning office buildings, doing hard sales as a real estate agent, which I hated and was terrible at, I needed to build something I enjoyed. I took many years and gave up video games completely, gave up watching TV and TV shows entirely, was mostly off social media, gave up lots of things that added nothing to my life. Spent that time working extra side hustles, learning, reading books, and building actual skills. If you want to better your finances, stop being broke and read 10 books on finances. You're going to be so excited about it, you'll want to do it. You just brainwash yourself. If you binge-watched videos on this channel about finances, you'd see, this is a totally normal guy who doesn't even have any skills, dropped out of high school, and if he did it, surely I can do something like that. The average person watches 6 hours daily. If you trade that to building a skill or earning more, your life in 10 months or 10 years is not even comparable. Not all consumption is bad. There are good things to consume, bad things to consume. Same with food. But most of what I was consuming was worthless. Track your consumption for 1 week. Track hours on TV, social media, games, and mindless browsing. Calculate total. Pick one consumption activity that you use most time. Replace it completely with one creation activity for the next 30 days. Learn a skill through YouTube or courses. Build a side hustle. Read books in your field. Create content yourself. A person spent 4 to 5 hours nightly gaming and watching TV after work for years. Felt relaxed but always broke. Same job, same income, same problems year after year. A friend spent those same evening hours learning web design through free YouTube videos. By 18 months, replaced full-time income with freelance work. One consumed entertainment worth $0. Other consumed education is worth $200,000 in increased earnings. Same evening hours available. One built assets, others built nothing. Rule 9. Focus on earning after you have a budget set. Lots of times, it feels safer to just focus on saving as much money as possible and not worry about earning more. Easier to control spending than income, so people obsess over tiny savings. But here's the math. If you can get a 2% raise at your job, it's going to be more efficient than almost everything you're doing throughout the rest of the year with little $5 savings here and there. Once you have your budget set up and have some frugal habits in place, it becomes important to stop focusing on that and focus more on earning. Think about, how can you start a business, get a raise, negotiate better, work on skills that make you more valuable? Much better use of your time than clipping coupons or obsessing over coffee purchases. Once you have a consistent 20% plus savings rate established, meaning your spending is under control, stop looking for ways to save $10 here and there. Start looking for ways to earn $1,000 more monthly instead. Ask for a raise or promotion at your current job with a specific value you've added. Learn one high-income skill like sales, coding, copywriting, or video editing through free or cheap online resources. Start a small side hustle using a skill you already have. Network with people in higher-paying fields. A single $3,000 raise equals $250 monthly, which is like finding 50 different ways to save $5 monthly. Much more efficient to focus on earning once spending is controlled. A person obsessed over saving $2 on groceries, $5 on gas, and clipping coupons spent hours weekly to save $50 total. Never worked on earning more. After 3 years, I saved an extra $7,800 through extreme frugality. Same income. Exhausted from a constant scarcity mindset. A friend established a basic budget, saved consistently, then focused entirely on earning more. Learned sales skills, switched jobs twice for raises, and started small consulting work. After 3 years, income increased by $18,000 yearly while maintaining the same spending. Saved an extra $54,000 in the same time frame while living more comfortably. Savings have a floor. You can't spend less than zero. Earning has no ceiling. One hit the savings floor and stayed stuck. Others kept raising the earning ceiling. One optimized $5 decisions. Other optimized $5,000 decisions. Completely different results. Rule 10. Treat savings like a bill. You spend $100 monthly on the internet or whatever bill without question, yet you don't save $100 monthly consistently. Why? Because bills feel mandatory, but savings feel optional. What if you had to save? What if it were a bill, or your bank account would stop working? What if there were penalties for not saving like there are for not paying bills? Treat savings like it's a bill. Incredibly important. Non-negotiable. Must be paid, or serious consequences will happen. When savings are optional, they get skipped whenever convenient. When savings is a mandatory bill, it never gets skipped. Your brain treats bills and savings completely differently. Change how your brain categorizes savings. In your budget or banking app, create a line item called Bill to Future Self or Freedom Bill, right alongside rent, electric, and insurance. Assign a specific amount. Start with $1 to $200 if needed, work up to $500 to $1,000 plus. Set it to auto-pay like bills on the same day each month. If you can't afford this bill, then you can't afford something else. Cut something else to make this bill payable. Track payment history like you would any bill. Missed payments to yourself are failures, just like missed rent payments. This mental reframe makes savings non-negotiable instead of optional. A person who tried to save when possible. Some months saved $200, other months $0. No consistency. After 2 years, I saved $3,200 sporadically. Felt like savings weren't working. A friend who treated $400 monthly savings as a mandatory bill, set up autopay and never missed it. After 2 years, I saved $9,600 consistently, plus investment growth. Same income level. One treated savings as optional, and one treated it as a mandatory bill. When treated as optional, they found reasons not to save constantly. When treated as mandatory, we found ways to make it work constantly. One negotiated with herself and lost. Others didn't negotiate, just paid her bill. Optional gets skipped. Mandatory gets done. Every single time. Rule 11. Value your time. Most people value money but don't value time at all. We'll spend an hour to save $5, but won't pay $5 to save an hour. Completely backwards. When I was making $20 an hour, I would look at everything through that lens. Would I spend $20 to watch one episode of this TV show? No, absolutely not. But that's what we do with our time because we don't value it at all. But would I spend $20 to see my parents, to play with my kids, to go for a walk in nature? Yes, I absolutely would do those things. If you can reframe your time as having specific value every hour of the day, this activity costs $20 of my time, this costs $50, this costs $100, and then ask, would I spend $100 to do this thing? Many activities fail that test immediately. This all comes down to that I brainwash myself. If I let myself do what I wanted to do, I'm an idiot. That's why these mental tricks and reframes really help me. Calculate your hourly rate. Annual income divided by 2,080 work hours. Round up to the next $5 increment. That's your time value. For next week, before any discretionary activity, ask, would I pay my hourly rate to do this? Watch a TV episode? Would you pay $25? Probably not. Scroll social media for an hour? Would you pay $25 for that experience? Absolutely not. Go to lunch with a friend? Would you pay $25 for that connection? Probably yes. Read a book that teaches a valuable skill? Would you pay $25 for that growth? Definitely yes. This filter eliminates time-wasting activities and focuses you on high-value activities. A person who had no time for side hustle, learning, or exercise, yet watched 3 hours of TV nightly. Valued TV episodes at $0, despite each costing $30 of his time at his hourly rate. After 2 years, he watched 2190 hours of TV, worth $65,700 of his time. Friend calculated his time worth $30 per hour, but couldn't justify spending $30 per hour on TV. Used evening hours for freelance side work, earning $35 per hour instead. After 2 years, I earned an extra $76,650 in the same evening hours. One thought he was relaxing. It was actually burning $65,700 worth of time for zero return. Others thought he was working extra. Was actually earning $76,650 for the time the first person burned. Your time has value whether you acknowledge it or not. Rule 12. Hang out with people who have more money. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If your 5 closest people are broke, complainers, and consumers, you'll stay broke too. It's one of my favorite feelings. Hanging out with people who have more money than I do makes me feel broke. Sounds masochistic, but it's incredibly motivating. That saying is absolutely true. When I started going to conferences, networking, reaching out to people online, and following them, I started thinking like them. Even spending time with them could be like, I read every single book this person wrote. I watched all their videos. I start to think like that person. I can kind of ask, what would this person do in this situation? What would Tim Ferriss do here? I can kind of do that, even if I've never met them personally. Ideally, you want to hang out with people who are trying to better themselves, who are in shape, who eat healthy, who care about their families, who want some of the same things you are. That makes you more excited, gives you motivation to be around those people. If you want to get good at pickleball and you only hang out on the basketball court, it's going to be hard to get better, right? You want to be in places and around people who are trying to do the same thing you are. Next, 90 days. Upgrade your circle. Identify 3 people in your current circle who are broke, negative, or pulling you down. Reduce time with them by 50%. Identify 3 people who are ahead of you financially, building wealth, positive mindset. Increase time with them by 100%. It could be in person, could be through consuming their books, podcasts, or content heavily. Join a paid community of people ahead of you financially. Mastermind, conference, or course community. When making decisions, ask, what would a person ahead of me do here? Use them as a mental model. The person hung out with 5 broke friends who complained about money, made jokes about being poor, and discouraged any wealth-building attempts. Stayed broke for 8 years, despite a decent income, because constantly pulled back to a broke mindset. Friend cut off negative broke friends, joined an entrepreneur meetup, attended a finance conference, read 20 books by wealthy people, listened to finance podcasts during commute. Within 2 years, income doubled, net worth up 10 times. Completely different trajectory. One's friends kept him comfortable being broke. Others' circle made her uncomfortable staying broke. Your circle is either holding you back or pulling you forward. There's no neutral ground. Rule 13. The 10-10-10 rule. People make financial decisions based on how they feel in the moment, without considering long-term impact. Buy things that feel good today but are meaningless tomorrow. Before spending money, ask 3 questions. Will this matter in 10 days? Will this make me happier in 10 months? How about in 10 years? If you zoom out far enough, most stuff fails this test. The $200 shirt? Not in 10 years. Maybe if it's actually good quality, it might last that long. The random gadget, the newest iPhone, the splurge dinner out. Some are okay occasionally, but most things just don't matter when you zoom out. But some things really matter long term. Reading a book, will it make life better in 10 months or 10 years? Yeah, it actually has a good chance to do that. Great use of money, learning a new skill, starting a business, taking guitar lessons. Could this make life better in 10 days? Maybe not. In 10 months? Yeah, probably. In 10 years? Life could be totally different. Zooming out in my life like that really makes a lot of decisions for me. I can look at myself like a video game character, like, no, you idiot. Eating more cake right now will not make you happier in any of those time frames. But being healthier so you can play with your kids and not have your knees hurt, that's going to make the rest of your life better. Do that instead. Next 30 days, before any purchase over $50, stop and write down what you want to buy and why. Ask, will this matter in 10 days? In 10 months? In 10 years? Write honest answers. If the answer is no to all 3 timeframes, don't buy. If the answer is yes to 10 months or 10 years, consider buying. Keep a log of purchases you avoided using this rule and calculate the money saved. A person bought things based on momentary desire. A $300 smartwatch used for 2 weeks, then forgot about it. $180 kitchen appliance used twice. $250 wardrobe pieces, never wore them. $150 course never finished. None mattered in 10 months. Total $880 wasted. A friend used the 10-10-10 rule on the same temptations. Smartwatch matters in 10 years? No. Didn't buy. Took $300, invested it. But did spend $250 on a professional certification course that would increase earning power. Passed the 10-10-10 test because it definitely matters in 10 months and 10 years. After 1 year, the first person had $880 worth of forgotten junk. A friend had a $630 invested plus $250 course that led to a $5,000 raise. 10-10-10 rule separates impulse from investment. Rule 14. Pick a simple budget. There are lots of budgets out there, and you can keep trying to get better, but maybe go with something simple like 60% essentials, 30% growth and investing, 10% fun money. A budget can be that simple, and it'll make you way ahead of most people who have no budget at all. Don't overcomplicate it. A simple budget you follow beats a complex budget you abandon. Most people fail at budgeting because they make it too complicated with 17 categories, tracking every penny, and creating spreadsheets that take hours to maintain. They do it for 2 weeks, get exhausted, and give up completely. 60-30-10 is simple enough to remember and follow forever. 60% covers rent, utilities, groceries, insurance, and transportation. The essentials you actually need. 30% goes to investments, debt payoff, and emergency fund building, the growth that builds your future. 10% is guilt-free fun money. Entertainment, eating out, hobbies, keeps you from feeling deprived. Set up 3 separate accounts matching these percentages. On payday, money automatically splits, 60% to the essentials account, 30% to investments, and 10% to fun. Spend freely from each account for its purpose. When the fun account hits 0, no more fun spending that month. Simple visual system. A person tried a complex budget with 23 categories, tracked every transaction manually, and created elaborate spreadsheets. Lasted 3 weeks before giving up from exhaustion. After 6 months, I had no idea where the money went. Saved nothing. A friend used a simple 60-30-10 split, 3 accounts and automatic transfers. Set it up once in 30 minutes. Never thought about it again. After 6 months, I saved 30% consistently without effort. The complex budget felt responsible but created failure. The simple budget felt too easy, but it created success. A perfect budget you don't follow saves $0. A simple budget you actually maintain builds wealth. Most people overcomplicate budgeting and then quit. Successful people simplify budgeting and then automate it. Pick simple. Stay consistent. Win long-term. 60% essentials, 30% growth, 10% fun. That's the whole budget. Start today. Rule 15. Annual money detox. Pick 30 days per year where you don't spend any money beyond absolute essentials. Literally freeze your spending completely. Freeze your credit cards physically if needed. Put them in a block of ice in your freezer if that's what it takes. Let all the subscriptions you're not actually using run out naturally. Get out of bad spending habits that have become automatic. Works incredibly well to reset spending patterns and identify waste you didn't even know existed. Most people realize they don't miss 80% of things they thought they needed during normal months. During these 30 days, you pay only the true essentials: rent, utilities, and groceries for basic meals. Nothing else. No restaurants, no shopping, no entertainment purchases, no random Amazon orders. You're not depriving yourself forever, just hitting pause for 30 days to break unconscious spending patterns. What happens during detox? Subscriptions you forgot about become visible when you can't renew them. Spending triggers become obvious when you can't act on them. Habits separate from actual needs. After 30 days, evaluate everything that wants your money. Most of it you won't want to restart. Do this detox once yearly, same month every year. I do it every January after holiday spending. Resets everything. The person never did a money detox. Subscriptions piled up over the years. Streaming services not watched, gym membership not used, app subscriptions forgotten, magazine subscriptions unread. Total, $340 monthly on things providing zero value. $4,100 yearly burned. A friend did a 30-day money detox annually. During detox, I couldn't renew anything. Realized she only missed 2 subscriptions out of 12. Canceled the other 10 permanently. Saved $260 monthly, $3,100 yearly. Over 5 years, the first person wasted $20,500 on forgotten subscriptions. A friend saved $15,500 that went to investments and became $22,000. Money detox isn't deprivation. It's clarity. Shows you exactly what you actually value versus what's just autopilot spending. 30 days of yearly complete spending pause saves thousands yearly forever. 1 month of discipline creates 11 months of freed up wealth building money. Schedule your first 30-day money detox right now. Pick the month, mark your calendar, commit to it. Your future wealthy self will thank you. These 17 boring rules built my financial freedom in 7 years. Not one exciting decision, not luck, not inheritance, just boring habits done consistently. Pay yourself first automatically. Never finance depreciating assets. Wait 30 days before purchases. Don't impulse buy. Live below the housing means. Track where money goes. Create instead of consume. Focus on earning after the budget is set. Treat savings like a mandatory bill. Value your time. Hang with wealthy people. Use the 10-10-10 rule. Pick a simple budget. Do an annual money detox. Start investing small. Negotiate big stuff. Get 1% better daily. Pick 3 rules to implement this week. Just 3. Not all 17. Start with the 3 that make you most uncomfortable. That discomfort is growth. Comment boring if you're committing to boring wealth building. Tell me which 3 rules you're starting with. Subscribe for more unsexy strategies that actually work. Remember, exciting financial decisions usually lose money. Boring financial habits build wealth. Be boring. Get rich. Your wealthy future starts with one boring habit today.